Hey there, welcome back to the channel, and we're in the workshop right now and been working on a couple of long-handled spoons and some 9.5-inch tight spoons, for like stirring and cooking, tasting, all that kind of stuff, and another little shorter version. This old piece of cedar here, and we've got it almost down to size and shape and everything. We might have to do a little sawdust repair there, and which is cool. That is insect damage. This particular piece of wood is probably, oh gosh, a decade or more old, at least, as far as like laying on the ground and salvaged and stuff. And I gave the little bowl kind of a twist, for the hand there. And this is a piece of elm, and this right here for these other spoons, these shorter type spoons. This is ambrosia maple. Really nice color to it. So, and this is people ask, what do you finish it with? And finish it with food grade mineral oil. Okay. And this is a piece of cedar. The other half of that hunk of cedar that particular spoon came from. Alright, got the fan on. About 80 something degrees. Not bad, but still not bad. Okay, right here on the chopping block, and this is how we give it the rough shape before we start getting in there with the detail knives and all that. And this started out as a big old hunk of wood, and slowly taking a little wax at it until we get it down to shape. And definitely don't want to swing too hard because it'll crack. Anyway, I don't know whether I've showed you this before or not, but this is a log that I have drilled 3 holes in, or 4 holes in, and put little legs on. And lets me come out here and do my rough shaping on my spoon and stuff. And you can probably tell I've been out here for a little while. Yeah, wood chips everywhere. Anyway, let's walk up here. One of the spoons that I had just finished, had put the sealing on it and all that stuff. And what I do is I put it inside the grill here, and it gets warm from the sunlight. And this is a 9.5-inch piece of cedar. And I'm wanting to say that this was probably sitting in the shop 40 years. yeah, at least it's probably 40 years old, as far as being in the shop for wood and stuff like that. But whenever that hunk of wood hit the ground, and whenever it was alive. So anyway, that's what we're up to, and we'll add more to this as we get further along in the project. Alright, we've done a good bit of the axe work with the spoons, and now we're taking our detail knife and kind of rounding things off, and before we start a lot of sanding and stuff. And we had a couple little bug voids to repair and clean up. Another one here and here. It's the other spoon. Most of the wax work, chop block work is done. So, and that's what we'll do with this for a little bit, and then we'll go get some sanding blocks and start the long process of getting that taken down and everything. I mean, some nice colors in this one. Even this one's really a bit cool. Swirls and all that. Hear a woodpecker out there? and other birds really active out here. This is like the last of the really comfortable days, and after this it's fixing to go up between 83 and 86 for 4 or 5 days. But that's okay. We knew it was coming, right? So in here using the old hook knife. Okay, this is a spoon with a 12-inch handle. And we don't want the bowl too deep. This is mostly for like stirring and stuff. The shorter spoons will be more for like if you want to, you know, taste your spaghetti sauce or your chili when you're cooking it. This will be for getting to the bottom of the big old pot and stirring it up. Old piece of cedar here. This wood is really old. It's been out there by the fire stack for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, maybe. All right. Nice spring day, birds everywhere. Doing some chores and been working on our spoon projects. And here's the one made from elm. This is old cedar wood. It's getting to the point now where we're getting ready to do a bunch of sanding and stuff. And this is a cherry wood spoon. It's already been sealed and stained, and really taking on some pretty cool colors. And we got to cut one more of these out for a deep bowl. These bigger ones will be kind of shallow bowl. They're basically just reaching into a deep pot and stirring. This one right here, the cedar wood one, that's where that started from. So it's come a long way. Alright, but that's what we're up to today, and working on that kind of stuff. And a piece of wood, got some stars inside of it. Piece of old wood here that I'm very curious to get back into this kind of stuff. And this is a really pretty wood to make some more spoons out of. But I'm going to let this wood rest up, and we're going to head out and do a few more things. I'll bring you back a little later on. Well, it's the next day, and it looks like we got some strong storms coming up. I know all you folks out in Tennessee, Arkansas, and all that have been dealing with them. They're about coming this way here in the next little bit. So we'll see. Anyway, here's some of the spoons I've been working on. This one is a blank that I'm just starting to work on, and this is a piece of cherry wood here, spoon, about 9.5 inches. This is a big 12-inch long cedar wood spoon, and we got a couple little patches that we need to do the old sawdust trick and get that done up. Show you real quick here. Let's walk over here and look at some of these fruit trees. The cherry tree really blooming out. It's about 85 degrees here right now. Big tree waking up. I was over here by the apricot tree, And I saw a couple of little babies. Oh yeah. There's a train out there coupling, uncoupling. Anyway, let's go back to the workshop real quick. Got the old fan on in here. Need to straighten up the workbench here. Bunch of different wood blanks here that we're gonna make work on. It's a pretty wood that holding in reserve. Anyway, this is another one of the other 12-inch spoon I'm working on. We got it sitting there soaking in the sealant, a food safe sealant. And this is a piece of elm. There's some really cool grain patterns in it. Anyway, we'll got a little bag of sawdust here for the patch that will work on that other spoon. Do a little bit of strip sand in here. This is really coarse sandpaper. It'll take a lot of material off right quick. We've done 3 sides already. We'll turn it around here like this. Then, oops, a little tighter. Okay, looks like this end over here, the side, needs a little bit more work. Kind of, that's where the knife work was going on at. Okay. Yeah, we're starting to get this 9.5-inch spoon down to a decent smoothness and stuff. And I like to leave a few of the knife and hatchet marks in there. That way it shows that it was truly made by hand. To me, if you want something so refined that you might as well just go to Walmart. And every bit of this wood, as I said, has came from the yard and the property across the way over there. Trees and I thought I heard some thunder a few minutes ago. Still nothing out there. Still cloudy and dark over there on that one side, but they don't have these things listed as severe. Just garden variety storms this time. I guess it lost a bit of its punch since it came through Arkansas and Tennessee and stuff. We're getting there, man. Need to work on the bowl a little bit, but it's a piece of old maple. And it's so old that it has literally dried into this light but strong. Alright. I had to bring it back down and put the fan back on. Got the old hook knife and we're kind of cleaning up a little bit of these hatchet marks and smoothing the spoon bowl out. They said this is really old wood, really old. If you have a hard time cutting up into this, you can soak this in water and kind of re-soften it, and it'll come off right easy. But I kind of like to try not to do that. That way you get a better, clear view of the grain. Which I'll see. Do a little rock burnishing. Smashes all the little high spaces out. Gives it a nice shiny coat. Okay, kind of varnished this one really good. You can still see some of the places where the chopping went on, but it also gave it a little kind of smashes it down and gives you a kind of a silverish look. So I'm going to call this one pretty near done, and we're going to put it over here in our stain thing. Let it start soaking in that sealant stain. And like I said, this is a food safe sealant. And let's take a look at this spoon right here. I might do a little bit of a burnishing here and give that kind of a 3D-ish effect. This one, nice big spoon too for like stirring deep into a pot. So we'll put that over here, and we'll do our little burnishing in there. You can see where the chops to hollow the space out. We need to patch here and here, a little bit right in there. Get our wood glue out here a little bit. So we've taken our wood glue and a little sawdust and kind of patched up these deformities and let it harden up overnight with the fan blowing on it, and then give it another little treat back into the sealant. Give her a little light sanding and it'll be about ready to go. And this one here that we just finished a few minutes ago, it's starting to get a nice deep color to it. Give it a nice stir, let it stay like that for a few hours, and then we'll flip it upside down, let the handle go first. But it's going to be a pretty neat colored spoon when the grain gets all sealed up and stuff. Alright, and of course there's the cherry wood spoon right there. And it's the other spoon that we just did the burnishing on. Alright, we'll bring it back here maybe the next day or so, let everything all finish up and harden up and seal up and see what it looks like. Good morning. Well, we're under an excessive rainfall warning, so it sure has that look. It's real sticky, like in the 80s Fahrenheit, and humidity is about the same, and foggy and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, let's take a look at what was going on here in the workshop. Alright, here's some of the spoons we've been working on. And color is near set. And remember, we were patching holes, the deformities yesterday. And that's dried up. And those two are dried up. We might do a little more patching. And we got two little holes here. And as the wood seals up, it'll contract and everything, and that's where you get the little holes and stuff. So anyway, this is a maple wood spoon, and we'll switch directions here in a second. You can still see the hatchet marks. Of course, we burnished it with the stone, so it actually feels flat. It's just more of a look than it is anything else. Yeah. So we'll get our wood glue and everything. Got the fan running. Like I said, it is absolutely, what's the right word? Soupy. Okay, we got the next little patch in. It's leveled up now. And got our spoons that are in the stain and sealant turned over. Let the handles get some of that love and everything. And just a matter of letting this stuff dry, and it'll be done. We'll start on our next little project. Alright, everybody, we'll end this right here, because that's about what it's going to look like, and we'll do a little more burnish work once everything gets all sealed up and stuff. Alright, y'all have a great day.